So you're thinking about moving to Mobile. Let me say, you're making a great choice. Moving here 5 years ago was the single greatest career decision I ever made. Before you head down here, I've compiled a list of 17 things I want to clarify for you. This list will ensure that your move is successful and that your life here in Mobile lives up to your wildest dreams. This is Moving to Mobile, and I'm your host, David Beasley. If we haven't met yet, I'm David, and I'm a local realtor here in Mobile. I help people move here all the time from all over the country. I make these videos to inform you about what it's like living in Mobile, but I also make these videos to connect with you. I absolutely love helping people move here, so shoot me a call, text, or email anytime. Okay, so with these first 5 mistakes, I want to categorize them as before you move. These are things that I want you to keep on red alert, because if you ignore them, it could cost you hundreds or even thousands of dollars down the line. I'm giving you the most important things right off the bat because I don't want you to miss them. Mistake number 1 when you move to Mobile is ignoring the flood zones. Mobile is right by the water, so it has a bunch of creeks, rivers, and waterways running through it. Due to this, certain areas of Mobile are prone to flooding, and if you're going to buy a home, you need to check that it's not in a flood zone. Flood zones often mean additional insurance costs and street flooding. Make sure you know what you're getting into before you buy your home. I know that these videos are often super lighthearted and fun, but please don't miss the seriousness of this. Even if you don't end up working with me, make sure that the realtor who helps you purchase your house asks all the necessary questions and educates you on the ramifications of purchasing a home in a flood zone. Mistake number 2 I see a lot of people make is not preparing for hurricanes. Mobile is right on the Gulf Coast, so hurricanes are a real thing. You need to have a plan, supplies, and possibly flood insurance. Don't wait until a storm is on the way to figure all this stuff out. I've never experienced any damage to any of my personal property, but it's so important to have a plan for if things go wrong. You really can't put a dollar sign on peace of mind. Mistake 3 I see people make really often are assuming that Mobile County and Baldwin County are the same. If you don't know, Mobile County is on the west side of the bay, Baldwin County is on the east side of the bay. Both are great, but they have entirely different vibes. Sure, they have some similarities, but don't make the mistake of thinking that they're identical. Make sure you know which one fits your lifestyle before you decide where you want to move. I make videos such as these to help you understand the nuances of Baldwin County. Mistake 4 I see a lot of people make is overlooking the cost of living versus wages. Now, Mobile is very affordable, but sometimes the wages can be lower here than they are in bigger cities. If you're moving here for work, make sure to compare salaries and the cost of living so you're not caught off guard at the expenses. This can affect everything from your mortgage to your quality of life. Now, if you're working remote, this is actually great news because obviously your salary won't change, but your cost of living will probably go down. Mistake 5 I see people make when moving down here is assuming that the public transportation is reliable. To be very blunt, Mobile's bus system isn't great. If you're moving here, you'll almost certainly need a car, plain and simple. This city is very spread out, so you don't want to be caught walking or riding a bike everywhere. These next 2 mistakes I see a lot of people make when they move here address the weather in Mobile. So mistake 6 is forgetting about bugs and critters. Mosquitoes, palmetto bugs, and even the occasional alligator is just part of life down here. Get some bug spray and do not leave food outside unless you want some uninvited guests. Also, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. You need to get a termite bond on your house if you want to protect your real property. If you neglect to do this, it could cost you thousands of dollars down the road. Remember what I said earlier about peace of mind. Mistake 7 I see a lot of people make is just generally misunderstanding the weather in Mobile. Mobile is hot, humid, and rainy. Summers are brutal, and we get the most rain out of anywhere in the country. Last year, in 2024, we got over 66 inches of rain. My advice is to always have an umbrella handy and be ready for the humidity. Here's a little bonus mistake people make. They always assume that Mobile is warm. Most of the time, Mobile is warm, but we do get occasional cold snaps. In fact, this January, we got a historic snowfall of 6 inches. This broke a 130-year record for our city. Before this, I'd actually never seen snow in Mobile. Now, it might not snow often, but when it does, the whole city needs to shut down. So when you move here, make sure to keep those winter coats somewhere in the storage because you might need them once or twice a year. Our next 5 mistakes are centered around Mobile's culture. Number 8 is a really big one. It's thinking that Mobile is all about beaches. Now look, I'm guilty of selling Mobile on its proximity to the beach. And it is relatively close to the beach, especially compared to a lot of other places in the country. However, it's not a beach city. Absolutely, we are close to places like Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, but Mobile itself has a more artsy, historic, and cultural vibe. This leads us right into mistake number 9, which is ignoring the rich culture and history of Mobile. Mobile is one of the oldest cities in Alabama and it has so much to offer historically. There is a huge focus in our community around things such as arts, music, and celebrations. This is seen so evidently through the Mardi Gras season. Booknote that thought because we're going to be talking more about Mardi Gras in a minute. If you focus so much on what Mobile isn't, you're going to miss out on all the cool things that Mobile is. My encouragement to you would be to not think of Mobile as being a beach town. Instead, think about it having its own blend of New Orleans, Alabama pride, and family values. When you get down here, take time to meet people, learn about the culture, and enjoy the spectacles that this city has to offer. Mistake number 10 I see some people make is not taking advantage of the waterways in Mobile. We have some of the best boating, fishing, and water sports in all of the region. Southern Alabama isn't all about beach life. If you don't get out on the water, you're actually missing half the experience of living here. I was fortunate enough to get to live in a house for one summer on the water, and it's a totally different experience. Now, if you're like me, you might not be able to afford a boat, but you can still go on boat tours, eat dinners at restaurants on the water, or maybe make friends with somebody who has a boat. Mistake 11 I see people making when they move to Mobile is not exploring other cool spots in the area. When you move somewhere, it can be really tempting to become complacent and not explore. In the past, I've slipped into this mindset of thinking that I'll eventually get to everything just by living here, but that's not really the case. It wasn't until I went and visited my parents this past winter in Kansas City that I realized how much I had missed out on in Kansas City because I wasn't exploring when I lived there. I think this is all just a human experience. We don't like trying new things and we get comfortable where we are. See, Mobile has a lot of hidden gems, and there are a lot of other cities, towns, and neighborhoods nearby that all have their own memories that are waiting to be unlocked. When you move to Mobile, make sure you're getting the whole Southern experience. Mistake number 12 is not trying out local businesses. If you only stick to big chain restaurants and stores, you're not getting the full experience. Ask any local of Mobile, the best restaurants don't come from big chains, but from mom and pop shops. The local seafood is almost always better than anything you'll have in a chain restaurant because it's almost always caught fresh in the Gulf of America. That still feels weird to say. Additionally, there are clothing brands, musicians, and artists that all rely on the support in the community to continue in their businesses. Supporting local is just kind of something people do here. Mistake number 13 is ignoring the college culture. Look, there are certain neighborhoods in Mobile which are very impacted by the college presence. When you move down here, you want to make sure to ask what type of culture do you want to live in and choose your neighborhood wisely. Now, this is not me telling you to avoid the areas close to schools because there's some real benefits living close to the colleges. Many of the schools have accommodations such as walking trails, disc golf courses, and tennis courts. However, if none of these things interest you and you don't want to be around the traffic or the hustle of a university, you might consider a different part of town or even a different town outside of Mobile entirely. Mistake 14 I see people make is misunderstanding Mobile's size. I've noticed that a lot of the other mistakes stem from this one. Some people coming from a big city expect Mobile to be this itty-bitty town where everyone knows your name. While there are certainly little pockets of communities like this in Mobile, this isn't all Mobile's about. The opposite mistake I see people making is thinking that Mobile is some huge metro where anything you want to do is here. There's a balance of these two ideas found in Mobile. Mobile is larger than most towns, but it's smaller than a lot of cities. It has a lot of entertainment options, but they can be limited sometimes. Hopefully this helps you know what you're getting into when you move here. This mistake hits really close to home because I personally make this mistake every single year. Mistake number 15 is forgetting about Mardi Gras. Look, if Mardi Gras isn't your thing, I totally get that. My wife absolutely hates how cramped and rambunctious the crowds can get. I, however, am an extrovert's best friend, so I love being around people and the excitement and energy downtown. Even if you never once go to a parade, it's really important that you keep an eye on what's going on downtown during Mardi Gras season in case you have any reason to visit. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to my favorite coffee shop downtown only to realize that I need to move my car for the parade. Just last week, one of my friends had his car towed while he was at work because he forgot that he parked his car in the parade route. Keep an eye on this stuff. It's important while you live down here. Mistake number 16 is a little silly, but it's not understanding the accents or the sayings. When you move down here, you are going to hear y'all everywhere, and people are going to call you hun and darling, even if they don't know you. And if someone says bless your heart, well, that's not always a compliment. Get used to calling shopping carts buggies and asking what someone is saying when they say pass the bowl. These are all silly and fun things, but if you're like me and you don't have a southern accent, you might stand out just a little bit. Mistake number 17, our last mistake, is not moving here. I know it's corny, I know it's silly, but I love this city, and I would absolutely love to get to call you neighbor. So if you have any more questions, please reach out to me. So that's our list. If you liked this video, please consider leaving a like. And if you don't want to miss anything about moving to Mobile, make sure to subscribe. Now, if you want to know more about one of the hottest towns outside of Mobile, I'm going to leave this video right here for you to check out about Foley, Alabama. I'll see you there, or I'll see you next time.